Okay. Are we ready? Okay. Are we ready? Okay. All righty. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. And I just want to say that looks like folks are abiding by our governor's wish to not have large audiences. Um, but anyway, we really appreciate the opportunity coming before you from Cincinnati Public Schools to give you an update around the school closure plan. My name is Carolyn Jones. I'm the president of the Cincinnati Board of Education. I am joined tonight by fellow board members Eve Bolton, Mike Morosky, Pamela Bowers, and we have 3 board members who are not with us tonight, 2 of whom, Melanie Bates and Ryan Messer, are returning from out-of-state trips and decided not to come tonight. And then we have 1 member who wasn't feeling well, Ben Lindy, who also is not able to be with us. And I personally want to thank the board members for hanging in there and doing what we do on behalf of our community. We also have tonight our superintendent, Laura Mitchell, who will come forward in just a couple of minutes, Jessica Shelley, the Director of Dining Services, and Sarah Trimble Oliver, who will be all speaking to you this evening. Let me just say that this is a difficult time for all of us here at Cincinnati Public Schools and for all of the school districts across the state of Ohio and the United States. We know and we recognize our day-to-day life will be quite different for a while. As you know, the governor, Mike DeWine, issued a mandate for closing all K through 12 schools, including the public, private, and charter schools, for 3 weeks at the least. I want to thank Mayor Cranley and City Council, the Health Commissioner Moore, Police Chief Isaacs, the county commissioners, and other community and civic leaders for the leadership that they are providing to our community around the concerns that we are faced with today. To our students and families, thank you for your patience and understanding as we address this immediate situation. We also appreciate the generosity and support from our community and business partners, and these include the many folks who have offered to volunteer to help the district make it through this rough time. Finally, thanks to Superintendent Mitchell for her leadership and her team and all of district staff for the many hours spent in ensuring the well-being of our students. This is an unprecedented situation, and we certainly appreciate your patience and your understanding in our efforts to appropriately respond. The health and safety of our 36,000 students and 6,000 staff is always our highest priority. And that's what brings us here this evening. Superintendent Mitchell will come forward to present the district's plan for this period of school closures and share information that will help our students and families during these next few weeks. So, while we're waiting for the superintendent to come on stage, I want to give a special thanks, and I said thanks to a lot of people, but this has not been an easy time for any of us. But I especially want to thank all the CPS employees who are working extra hard to make sure that our students still receive a healthy meal, to ensure that our buildings are sanitized and the district continues to maintain essential operations. So on behalf of the board, we appreciate all that CPS is doing for our CPS families. So let's take care of ourselves our loved ones, and our neighbors. So with that, Superintendent Mitchell, if you could come forward, please. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for being here with us this evening. So in the next couple of moments, you're going to hear me talk about a lot of different things, about a plan. You're going to hear me talk about food distribution. You're going to hear me talk about work packets. But at the end of the day, everything that we say and we do right now is about people. It's about our communities. It's about our children. It's about our families. And so as we are doing this very important work to take care of them, we're all remembering that this is about people. The safety of our kids and our families and our communities are our top priority. And I want to express a sincere gratitude to all of our staff members who really stepped up over the last several weeks to stay in our schools and take care of our kids. In many instances, our staff members put themselves, their kids, in their classrooms before they put themselves as well as their own families. And to the entire CPS staff, I want to say a heartfelt thank you for your professionalism and your dedication to our young people. I also want to thank our families for your understanding, your patience, as well as your dedication to help us through this very challenging time. And all of our community partners who have come forward offering support. We thank you through this totally unprecedented time. This isn't something that I ever thought that I would see or live through in my lifetime. And of course, we have a plan in place that I'll talk to you about, but we do not have every single thing identified because things are evolving on a minute-by-minute basis. Rest assured, though, we are in constant communication with the Health Commissioner for Cincinnati, and we are informing families about up-to-date information that will help guide your lives over the next several weeks. So as the President Jones has said, the governor has decided to close schools for the 3 weeks to allow the opportunity for us to decrease the spread of this virus. During this time, out of an abundance of caution, we're going to be sanitizing all of our buildings and making sure that they are clean and ready upon return to school for our young people, our parents, our staff members, as well as our partners. It's important for everyone to know and be reassured that Cincinnati Public Schools has a pandemic plan that is updated and is being executed right now today. There are 3 major components to this plan: preparation, and we've been working over the last several weeks to ensure that we have everything in place to take care of our kids and our families. The execution is the second major component of our plan. We are dotting our I's and crossing our T's and making sure that we are thinking of every possible thing and using data on a daily basis to inform our work. And then the third component of our plan is recovery. We know that there is a light at the end of this tunnel, and we will be prepared to receive our kids when school is reopened. Now is the time for us to implement our plan, adjust based upon information that's coming in, and to be calm. To be calm and take care of ourselves and take care of our families. We know that the closing of school has caused a tremendous burden for many families in terms of providing health care as well as providing meals for our kids. Many of our kids receive 3 meals, sometimes 3 meals and snacks at our school. We have volunteers who are ready and willing to be able to help in all of these areas to support our young people and to support our families. And we will be providing updated information regarding the opportunities of volunteerism that can take place within this district. Josh Harden, who is our athletic director, has stepped up to the plate to help organize our volunteers as it relates to items that are not food related. We have Jessica Shelley, who is our director for dining services, who will handle that. Again, I want to thank the community for all of your support in this very trying time. As we think about the safety of our kids, we also have to really be reminded that our core business is teaching and learning, and that there will be a life beyond this pandemic, and we must be ready, and our kids must be ready to step into a bright future. So we provided homework packets for our young people for the next several weeks that they went home last Friday and Thursday. We also have provided Schoology, which is a platform that parents can access to get information about work that is posted. In addition, we will be putting together a plan to be able to pass out lessons and work at key locations for families who are interested in coming by and picking that up. So additional information will be coming out regarding that service for our families. At this time, I would like to introduce Jessica Shelley, who is our Student Dining Services Director, and she's going to provide some very specific information regarding the food support and the program that will be in place over the next several weeks starting tomorrow. Jessica.
Thank you, Superintendent Mitchell. And thousands of young people across Cincinnati, in Cincinnati public schools, private schools, and charter schools rely on the nutritious meals that we serve each day at school for them. For some, the meals we serve are the only nutrition they have each day. And it's my pleasure to report that meals will continue at Cincinnati Public Schools over the next 3 weeks when schools are closed. While we cannot offer the same level of service we give on a regular school day, we will ensure that students who need these meals will have access. Beginning tomorrow, on March 17th through April 3rd, we will begin serving meals at 24 school sites. We selected these sites to maximize our community reach based on location, volume, and accessibility. Meals will be served on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week, with the additional day of tomorrow to kick us off. All meals will be served between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. On Mondays and Wednesdays, children will receive 2 breakfast meals and 2 lunch meals. And on Fridays and tomorrow, children will receive 1 breakfast meal and 1 lunch meal. All meals will continue to exceed the USDA nutritional requirements. Now, many might be wondering why we aren't serving meals 5 days per week. Per Governor DeWine's orders and recommendations from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, to minimize social gatherings, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has issued a waiver for COVID-19 to schools to serve multiple meals for multiple days at one time. This will help minimize our points of contact with the public. A few points to remember for these meals is that all children must be present to receive a meal. This is per USDA regulation. And the program is solely for meal pickup. Their meals are not to be consumed on site. A final note that the health and safety of our student dining services team, who is providing these meals to our students, is paramount to us, and will be following all CDC recommendations for protection. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear aprons. And I am very, very proud and humbled that I have a team that is willing to always put students first and continue to feed our future. At this time, I'll turn it back over to Superintendent Mitchell.
Okay, so I've talked about our plan. I've talked to you about packets of work. Jessica talked about food, and now I'd like to turn our attention to our health centers. We have 24 school-based health centers within our district, and we have been asked to keep 6 of those health centers open and available for use by the Cincinnati Health Department. Those locations are identified as the Academy of World Languages, Aiken High School, Mount Airy, Riverview East, Roberts Academy, and Dater/West High campus. So all of those health centers have a direct entrance from outside the building straight into the health center, and so people will not have to go through the school, but we will have those health centers open, and they will be operated by the Cincinnati Health Department. As we continue our focus on preparing our kids for learning, at this point in time, we do not have the specific implications that this closure will cause as it relates to graduation and testing. We have been in contact with legislation to give our recommendations as far as graduation and testing and credentialing for our young people, and so look very forward to receiving information from the Ohio Department of Education regarding these matters. As soon as we know, please rest assured that we'll be passing this information on to families and the community. Our #1 priority after safety and health of our students is that our students learn and continue to thrive. We will be constantly in communication with our team in our schools as well as here centrally, and we'll be posting information, updated information on our website regularly. So for that information that you want to receive, please go to cps-k12.org. And again, we'll be posting information on a regular basis. We are scheduled at this point in time to reopen our schools on April the 3rd, and that is the plan, and so we are in preparation for that. So all those schools will be closed and the education center will be closed. Please understand and know that our work continues and it will go on. We will clean our buildings, we will provide food, we will provide food packets and work packets for our young people, and our central office will continue to operate remotely. I will say that our buildings will be closed to the public. It is extremely important that we make sure that we have the opportunity to sanitize those buildings and to reduce the spread of this virus. We will have people who will be able to answer phone calls as it relates to any questions that parents may have regarding enrolling, transportation, and so all of those calls will still be directed to our customer care center. And that number is 363-0123. So parents, community members, if you have questions, feel free to call into that number. We will have a series of recordings that people can listen to get information that they may be asking. And if the question comes outside of those pre-recorded 4 areas, then you will actually be patched through to a live person who will be working remotely. Again, I can't stress enough the importance of making sure that we stay out of our school buildings and stay out of the Ed Center, with the exception of the essential staff who need to actually conduct work and make sure it continues moving forward. Our interest is to make sure our kids are safe and our families, and to also make sure that our kids are able to achieve academically, and we will ensure that. And rest assured that we are here with you, we are along beside you, we are a resource to families and to the community. We thank you for everything that you're doing, and we hope that you are well. Thank you. Okay, at this point in time, we will take questions. And I'm going to ask our Chief Strategy Officer to join me on the stage 6 feet apart as we're able to answer your questions. So I'm going to start it off and then ask Jessica Shelley to come forward. So we strategically placed them all throughout the district, and in many cases, they will be in walking distance. And so they are as far west as Saylor Park and as far east as Mount Washington, and all sprinkled out in between in neighborhood schools, magnet schools, as well as high schools. And so we've really tried to make sure that they're spread out throughout the district. We don't necessarily have enough manpower to put someone at every single school, and so we've tried to do a really good job of making it as convenient to families as possible and in areas that are walkable. Jessica, do you have anything you want to share? Okay. Yeah, so I'll let Jessica come forward, but we already have a plan to lay tape down that you cannot cross over this line, and to put, so we have really thought very detailed about almost everything we could possibly think of.
So we actually have a plan for each school site location. We will have a pop-up tent with a 6-foot table that'll be under the pop-up tent that will be then serving meals from to our families that come visit us to pick up meals. We'll also have a security assistant from CPS will be present. That'll help us be able to communicate and get people in line to make sure that we're all being safe together. just themselves. The USDA does require that the child be present at the time of meal pickup, but there is no proof of being a CPS student. This is not a CPS feeding. This is a feeding of our community. And these meals are available to any child between the ages of 1 and 18. We are trying to resource every possible meal that we can get in. We're being very cautious and careful that we're practicing good food safety. We've been working in tandem with Cincinnati Health Department, and they have recommended that all of our products come in individually wrapped, so there's a minimized point of contact and handling of the food items. Right now, we're planning to push out 100 meal kits at each site, and then we'll adjust as we need. We are hoping that we can feed as many students as possible, but right now, we are making sure that we're being cautiously optimistic that we're able to provide for these 3 weeks and into the future if necessary.
Thank you all so much.